Hello, you're watching News9 Live. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, along with Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav and JDU President Lalan Singh, met Congress President Mallikarjunm Kharge and Rahul Gandhi at Kharge's residence in the national capital. This comes a day after Nitish Kumar met with RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav in Delhi and discussed the current political situation. Now, Nitish on several occasions in the past advised all opposition parties, including the Congress, to join hands to defeat the BJP in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So what does Nitish Kumar's meeting with Congress President Mallikarjunm Kharge and also, of course, Rahul Gandhi mean? Let's listen in to what Rahul, Mallikarjunm Kharge and Nitish Kumar had to say.
काफी देर बहुत ही हम लोगों ने चर्चा कर ली और जो आपको बताया अभी, तो इन्होंने जानकारी दे ही दी है कि अधिक से अधिक पार्टियों को पूरे देश में एकजुट करने का प्रयास करें और उसके लिए हम लोग अपना कोशिश करेंगे। सब लोग एग्री करेंगे, वो सब लोग बैठेंगे और एक साथ हम लोग आगे का काम करेंगे, मिल करके चलेंगे। ये बात तय हो गई है और इन सब चीज़ों को लेकर के ये भी कई लोगों से बातचीत हुई है, हम लोगों की बात हुई। हम लोग फिर एक बार आज जो बात हो गई है, अंतिम तौर पर बात हो गई है, अब उसी के आधार पर फिर हम लोग कर लेंगे और जितने लोग एग्री करेंगे तो सब लोगों को फिर हम लोग बैठ करके आपस में आगे का निर्णय तय करेंगे।
राहुल जी और हमारे बिहार के चीफ मिनिस्टर नीतीश जी, तेजस्वी जी और सारे पार्टी के नेतागण और दोस्तों, हम यहाँ पर एक ऐसी ऐतिहासिक मीटिंग की और बहुत सी चीज़ें हम चर्चे में लाए और एक हम सभी ने मिलकर तय किया कि सभी पार्टियों को एकजुट करना और एक होकर आगे जो चुनाव आएंगे उस चुनाव में एकजुट दिखाकर लड़ना। तो ये हमारा निर्णय हुआ है और हम सभी मिलके उसी रास्ते पे काम करेंगे और नीतीश जी, राहुल साहब, तेजस्वी जी और ललन सिंह जी, सभी हमारे जो नेतागण यहाँ बैठे हैं, उसी लाइन पे हम काम करेंगे और हम पूरा इसमें यश साधने की पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू।
खारगे जी ने कहा, नीतीश जी ने कहा कि ऑपोजिशन को एक करने में एक बहुत ऐतिहासिक कदम लिया गया है। आपने सवाल पूछा कितने ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज को इकट्ठा करना है। देखिए, ये एक प्रोसेस है और ऑपोजिशन का जो देश के लिए विजन है उसको हम डेवलप करेंगे और जितनी भी पार्टियां हमारे साथ चलेंगी उनको हम सबको एक साथ लेकर जो देश में आइडियोलॉजिकल लड़ाई चल रही है, विचारधारा की लड़ाई चल रही है, उसको लड़ेंगे। जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, जो देश पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, उसके खिलाफ हम सब एक साथ मिलकर खड़े होंगे और एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठाएंगे।
Let's expand this discussion and figure out whether this coming together of stalwarts, as it were, regional satraps and also leaders like Mallikarjunm Kharge and Rahul Gandhi, is this going to be a mirage or, for all you know, it could be a reality very soon. Joining me in the studio is my colleague Rajesh Pandey, and also I'm being joined by Amitabh Tiwari, who is a political analyst. Rajesh, if you look at historically, of course, cynicism is not a luxury that journalists can afford, you know, because someone was in the newsroom saying, oh, it's like a New Year resolution. We make it, we break it. But the point is, historically, if you look at it, Brijesh, whether it's Mirage Desai, Charan Singh, Chandrasekhar, Inder Kumar Gujral, so on and so forth, when the result of what is going on right in front of us happened, they really did not last. You know, it wasn't as if they lasted or, you know, it was without a problem. Somewhere a monolithic party, you know, someone from a singular party sustains in this country. That is one thing. And the other thing is, like we say in Hindi, waqt badal gaya hai. You know, now we have a juggernaut of a character called Narendra Modi. So what do you think, what do you make of this entire coming together, Brijesh?
Well, I think, you know, one of the key element, if you look at UPA 1, UPA 2 and also NDA 1 during Vajpayee's time, one of the key element was one party was in a pivotal position, you know, winning more than 100, 150 seats, and then rest of the smaller parties gravitating towards it, making for a very stable coalition. Unfortunately, with Congress party, there are two problems. A, they have lost that pivotal position. Now they are no longer in a position to call shots or claim themselves as a party which has more than 50 or say more than 100 seats where they can, you know, be in a commanding position. That leadership role they have ceded away, I think, in 2019. The behavior of Rahul Gandhi is also not helping the cause, you know, because he's extremely erratic. I think Bharat Jodo Yatra was once perhaps the only occasion where he walked the talk and also ensured that, you know, that for 3 years he was committed to the cause and he got a rare good press and people applauded about, you know, the sincerity which was exhibited during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. The biggest problem is that right now the calculation of opposition party is that they are going the arithmetic way. So the Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi says that, you know, if we are able to defeat BJP in 20, 25 or 30 Lok Sabha seats in Bihar and 20, 25, 30 or 40 seats in Uttar Pradesh, then the number of BJP goes down by 50 odd seats. True. And if the same thing happens in the rest of the state, 10, 10, 5, 5, 10, 10 seats, then, you know, you are in a position to drag BJP to somewhere in the range of 200, 220 seats. And then they will be in a commanding position. But the election usually doesn't happen that way. Yes. You know, it's a chemistry usually trumps arithmetic a big way. And the point is that in Bihar there may be situation, but they are powerful regional parties who cannot stand the sight of Rahul Gandhi, I beg your pardon, as the chief architect of this coalition. Right. You know, be it Mamata Banerjee, be it Arvind Kejriwal, they just cannot stand Rahul Gandhi. And this is the reason we saw that in ample full display during the second session of the budget session where you know, Derek O'Brien has said, why would we want to play second fiddle to Congress?
Yeah, and also why would they marry Congress except for Stalin, Muka Stalin, who is in alliance with the Congress in Tamil Nadu? The rest of them would not like the Congress to even come very close to them, whether it is a Mamata or whether it is KCR Garu.
Well, absolutely, because, you know, like in the case of Bihar also, you know, there was a massive anger in the coalition partner that the Congress was always punching well above its weight. You know, when the party could win only 5 seats, they would be asking for 25 seats, making it very tough for the coalition partners to cede away or give seats on which they were, you know, which was otherwise would have been a winnable seat. Yeah. Same was the case with Uttar Pradesh. If you remember, you know, during the peak Ram temple thing, when Kashi Ram and Mulayam Singh Yadav met, their caste calculation, their arithmetic trumped chemistry. Yes. But later on, you know, you saw all the three coming together. They were barely able to register a blip, and BJP won perhaps the most mammoth political victory in the state of Uttar Pradesh ever, and that too back to back.
Right.
So for them to come up with something which works wonders, I think, you know, they have a lot of work ahead of them to, you know, to achieve something.
But the point that Brijesh makes, and which I think is the moot point, is that sometimes chemistry has to work first for arithmetic to really be in its proper place. Let me bring Amitabh Tiwari here, political analyst who's joining us. Amitabh, you know, Nitish has been calculating, and again, I'm going back to what Brijesh said, arithmetic. 132 plus seats when it comes to Bihar, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh, and said, you know, if we do this, then we'll have Congress to, you know, concede that yes, the RJD and the Samajwadi Party are the dominant parties in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar respectively, so on and so forth. But the chemistry of it. And one of the moot points is that the reliability of Nitish Babu, I mean, even Tejasvi called him Palturam. He is a master of U-turn. The number of times that he's divorced himself from every party possible is now stuff that legends are made of. So I'm saying for him to act as a glue, I mean, he's not even a glue. He's always come unstuck, Amitabh.
See, first of all these opposition parties meeting Rahul Gandhi and calling it as historic is nothing new, because these parties are already in alliance in Bihar. So if they are meeting, it's not a great thing which is going to happen for opposition unity. They are already partners, number one. Number two, most of the regional satraps like Nitish Kumar or Sharad Pawar or Arvind Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee, they all want to act as glue. But all the other leaders are not going to accept them as a glue. Plus, the track record of the regional parties, as you said. Nitish Kumar has been in and out of NDA a number of times. Mamata was earlier with NDA. Sharad Pawar has been hobnobbing with the BJP. So the larger question is, can an opposition unity be formed, as you asked? And the simple answer is no. And you are putting on your ticker, it's like a mirage, correct? 100% opposition unity is not possible. It's not going to happen. Something like a repeat of a 1977 sort of an experiment. The other question is, even if all the opposition parties come together or a large section of opposition parties come together, is it going to significantly alter their fortunes? So to measure the opposition unity, there is something called as index of opposition unity. And the index of opposition unity in 2019 election was 85%. It used to be 64% in 2014. Despite a higher index of opposition unity, BJP's seat tally actually increased from 282 odd to 303 seats. What this means? It means that there is a concept of a law of diminishing marginal utility in economics. Just for the sake of dethroning Narendra Modi or BJP from power, without having any core ideological similarities, without having a common minimum program, may actually be counterproductive and backfire, as it has happened in 2019. Mahagathbandhan is a perfect example of a failed 100% opposition unity, sort of 100% opposition unity in UP. So opposition unity also does not guarantee success. Right. I would say that the opposition leaders should spend a lot of more time on preparing a vision for India. What is the vision for India? What is the roadmap?
You know, and Amitabh, let me bring in Shiv Pujan Jha, senior journalist, and I'm going to, you've given me a talking point, Amitabh, and let me go across to Shiv Pujan Jha. You know what Amitabh was saying, that they should spend more time in what India wants. What one is hearing is Nitish has a blueprint. He says we'll do presidential poll kind of a method. We will take to that method, right? We are not going to project anybody as a prime ministerial candidate. Let's not do it. And I'm sure he knows that Rahul cannot be projected as, and why should Congress keep quiet? So look at it. There are loops within loops within loops. Of course, there is a question of numbers as well. There is a question of personal egos of these regional satraps. Do you think somewhere, Shiv Pujan, that this is just, you know, somehow one feels that it is just they are buying time, they are creating a lovely mirage that action is happening. It will not come to fruition. Shiv Pujan Jha. Shiv Pujan, please unmute yourself. Thank you. Can you hear me, Shiv Pujan? Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Okay, before Shiv Pujan fixes his network, I'll get back to Pritesh. Pritesh, the thing is what I asked Shiv Pujan. First of all, if you remember, if you go back in history, and history is something, if you don't learn from it, then it's a big tragedy. We spoke about right at the beginning, and we've got references of what happened when any of these so-called third front experiments, and they failed miserably. Nothing really happened out of it. Individually, they were all stars, but when it comes to running a government, nothing came out of it. But there's another thing. Why would the Congress cede space? And I'm saying space to someone like Nitish Kumar, because if you may recall, when they began supporting Lalu Prasad Yadav, and I'm going back to 1990, since then till now, they've not been able to really do anything in Bihar. So ceding space to Nitish also has a larger meaning, don't you think?
Well, why only restrict yourself to Bihar? The same applies to Delhi.
Delhi?
Where the second they allowed to cede this thing to Aam Aadmi Party, they lost it.
Yes.
Go to Andhra Pradesh, go to Telangana. The entire state is the entire nation is replete with example of how Congress has ceded power to a regional party which was much more agile and captured the mood or the essence of the regional politics than Congress party. I think what the Congress is not realizing is that that the days of it being the biggest power or like hegemony over the entire national politics is gone by a long shot. And the worst problem which the Congress is facing is that it is not able to decide, or rather the Gandhis are not able to decide that, what to do with Rahul Gandhi. He is being shown as reluctant person, and then one day he says that, no, I have to be at the forefront. You have Kharge as the president, but it is Rahul Gandhi who is calling the shot. You are exhibiting the same symptoms which you are accusing Narendra Modi or any other party leaders of, that you are behaving in a duplicity. And the other thing is that, most of these regional parties have now formed up their base in their respective state.
True.
But now the situation is, why would they want to cede power or space to the Congress party?
Yes.
The Congress is playing second fiddle in Bihar. The Congress is playing, I would say, fourth fiddle in the state of Uttar Pradesh. This alone accounts for 120 Lok Sabha seats. And other than that, places where Congress is in power, say like for the state of Rajasthan, they'll ensure that there's so much infighting that they are not going to reclaim space. So think for a second, like if the Congress is not able to win, say, a Karnataka, and they are not able to retain, say, the state of Rajasthan, perhaps the Congress would be at its nadir of its political existence, because then they'll have power in only one state, which is the Himachal Pradesh.
Right.
And this is the reason why, nobody right now, and nobody likes Congress. I mean, Arvind Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee, KCR, everybody have said it, not said it once, but said it several times, that, we don't want to have any truck or alliance with Rahul Gandhi.
And KCR has been very, very clear. And let me take that to Shiv Pujan Jha, who's now joined us. Shiv Pujan, it is very clear that K. Chandrasekhar Rao has prime ministerial ambitions. I mean, he changed the name of his party to BRS. He's not met Modi. This is the 5th time that he, did not go and receive Narendra Modi when he came to meet him in, Hyderabad. He's also been very quiet about it. Do you think that someone like KCR will come to Stalin and Mamata later, but KCR particularly, who also speaks Hindi, this is very important. He's the only leader, only chief minister from the south who is fluent in Hindi. Do you think he's going to concede to what is going on, where, there is a kind of a coalition, a Gathbandhan, and a third front is formed, and, the prime minister, then they will decide who will be the prime minister, and the contender could as well be Nitish Babu?
Well, that was one question which I had directly put to KCR and to Nitish Kumar himself when they jointly held a press conference in Patna after a meeting. Earlier to that, in fact, KCR was meeting various top leaders across the country, their own political ambitions. Remember, way back in 2014, even Nitish Kumar was nurturing larger political ambitions. Then there were occasions when he switched sides repeatedly, and he is known to be a man of several U-turns. So there is now a big question mark on the credibility of Nitish Kumar. He knows that his support base is eroding very, very fast, and that is the reason why in that joint press conference which was held by Nitish Kumar and KCR was not forthcoming about the name. In fact, there were journalists who put this question straight to him, saying that why is it not that you are in a position at this stage to name Nitish Kumar as the leader of this so-called third front. But then there was some kind of silence. This has much bearing to the kind of politics which will be there in the days to come. All these political parties basically are fighting for survival, and that is the reason why they are trying to come together under what umbrella. Prior to 2017, we had seen how the Congress had tried to put its best foot forward with Ghat Pe Charcha. What happened after that? In fact, it turned that Ghat Pe Charcha was turned to UP Ke Chhore, and the Congress was more or less forced to enter into the coalition with the Samajwadi Party.
And
now, when we are talking about this emerging scenario, this may take place in the in a state like Bihar, and it suits all these regional parties perfectly well. But to magnify the same experiment at the national level is going to be really a tough task, both for Nitish Kumar
but even
as
in
well as
Bihar, but even in Bihar, Shiv Pujan, you've been witness. I mean, you've seen the number of U-turns, like you said, You know, he's a master of U-turns, and there are rumors that he may as well go back to the BJP, and, you know, I'll come back to you to confirm that. These are rumors, of course, but apparently he's once again extending an olive branch to the BJP. So, you know, let me come back to you on that. Let me bring in Amitabh. Amitabh, you know, arithmetic aside, because arithmetic can only work if you have a blueprint, you know, then you can perhaps say, okay, this is how we go about it. The main bone of contention is the way Nitish Kumar has conducted himself politically. There was a time when he was called someone as Mr. Reliable, Sushasan Babu, but today, after the Hoot tragedy and a number of other incidents, and also, of course, him jumping ship from one, I mean, I don't know how many ships he's jumped. He must be a master at it. So the point is today, now look at the adversary that he has. I'm using adversary as a political adversary is Narendra Modi. Stands for stability. He walks the talk. He has delivered on every promise of his. So even if you look at from the perception point of view, do you think he's someone who can actually deliver? Because politics is not really, you know, a child's play.
See, Nitish Kumar is nowhere in contention to become the prime ministerial candidate face of a joint opposition. I mean, his party is going to maximum contest on 17 seats in Bihar, or max 20. Same applies for KCR. So all of those leaders idolize Deve Gowda ji. They are all waiting for their Deve Gowda moment to arrive at some point of time. And that is not going to happen, because you've raised a very important point. Stability is the key. We are not living in an India of the 1990s
Yes.
and 80s. Out of the 6 non-Congress, non-BJP prime ministers, 5 have not even lasted a year. So, to provide stability to any government, it has to be either a Congress or a BJP-led government at the center. All these leaders do not have a mass appeal. How many votes does a JDU have outside of Bihar? How many votes a Mamata Banerjee has outside of Bengal? How many votes a KCR has out of Telangana? These leaders do not have a pan-India appeal. Whatever said and done, for 2024, Congress, despite being weak, is the only party, is the only national party which has the claim to lead any opposition front. Any other candidate, any other leader cannot claim to lead any joint opposition today.
Yeah, but
even
you know
after getting a national status is not ready there for 2024, probably 2029 if Congress fails again. But at this point of time, it is the Congress which has the legitimacy to claim over any prime ministerial phase of a joint opposition. Whether they go or they do not go is a different matter, because in Lok Sabha elections, 27% people vote on the basis of a prime ministerial phase.
That's what exactly because, you know, I think the practicality of politics, Indian politics, we are, you know, there are some issues, and that's where I'm going to bring Brijesh Pandey, who's, you know, really studied the politics of the entire country, but Bihar and UP very, very closely. Now he says Congress is the only, main opposition. You agree? I agree, right?
That's how I started my answer. Yeah, that, you know, one has to be the lead pole around
which
everyone. He is the pole.
He is the fulcrum. That is the fulcrum. But if you want to project, although Nitish says no, we'll go in the presidential style of polls. But let's, you know, hypothetically, who do they project as a prime ministerial face? Considering, suppose everyone says the buck stops, neither you KCR nor me Stalin, it's going to be someone from the Congress, then obviously it will be someone who will be a kind of a, you know, also ran, or someone who's a compromise candidate, don't you think? So look at the entire experiment. It's as if you make that person the prime minister, waiting for him to fall.
Well, yes, and you know, past experiences have also, shown very clearly that until and unless you have one party which is at least 140, 150 plus, there is no way you can have a stable coalition. You know, we just played graphics and all of how we had 6 prime ministers in 20 years, and this is the reason why is because no single party had that many MPs so that it can make its writ run large. And with the problem is that the Congress party is the only party which is a national party. You know, because even its most depleted state, it still has, you know, party offices in remote corners of India and all. But the biggest, the option is Congress and the biggest problem is Congress. And this is one dichotomy which nobody is able to solve. See, the point is that majority of these people, say for example, Mamata Banerjee, with 40 plus seats in West Bengal, if she wins 30, why would she want to cede away authority to anybody who is winning 30 or 20 seats? So this number has become the biggest problem which the opposition parties are facing, and it's a very ragtag coalition. It's not led by anybody dynamic. There's no clarity of thought. The majority of the regional parties who are powerful regional parties like KCR, Mamata Banerjee, Aam Aadmi Party and others, they have made it very clear that they don't want to have any truck with Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi and Congress party have also not come out and said that in case of any coalition or us forming the government, Rahul Gandhi is not going to be the prime ministerial candidate. See, one trick thing is that when Rahul Gandhi was asked to vacate the bungalow and he was stripped of his Lok Sabha membership, there were all statement of supports which started coming in, and there was immediate analysis of how Rahul Gandhi will be leading and the entire opposition is falling behind him. I spoke to BJP people, and they were laughing at the sheer absurdity of the conjecture which was drawn. They said, if anyway it has been Rahul Gandhi versus Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has won by hands down. BJP with Modi has been defeated by Mamata Banerjee, by Aam Aadmi Party, by other regional satraps. But whenever it is BJP versus Congress in a direct fight, barring one or two, say like for example Himachal, they have always won. So even if Rahul Gandhi gets the entire opposition together, if Rahul Gandhi is the face of this thing, then I think chances of BJP having a bigger victory in 2024 would not be a fallacy, if I may say so.
Right. And Shiv Pujan, let me bring you in here. Now, Brijesh was, he spoke about how Congress is the problem and also the solution. This is a dichotomy that all of us have to live with, rather they have to live with. But I am asking you one question, Shiv Pujan, considering you have covered all the parties in Bihar for decades now. Do you think at the end of the day, the Congress party would be, even agreeing to cede space to Nitish? Although today there is, camaraderie, they're all standing together. Hum ek hain, hame harana hai Bhajpa ko. But finally, do you think the Congress will cede space seriously when it comes to electorally in Bihar?
Well, the Congress does not have much of an option here in the state of Bihar, and that is the reason even when the RJD was opposed tooth and nail to the bringing in of Nitish Kumar, since there has been infighting and often dirty linen being washed in the public, the Congress will really find it hard in a way to stand on its feet in the state of Bihar, and that is the reason why it needs leaders like Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Tejasvi Yadav. More or less, it has to rely on crutches in the state of Bihar, and that is the reason why so much of space is being conceded to Nitish Kumar at this particular stage.
I'm sorry, Shiv, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to interrupt you, but if you go back historically, and like we say, who started the fire? I think Congress, when they supported Lalu Prasad Yadav to a great extent, after that, they were history. It was curtains for them in Bihar. Isn't that correct?
Yes, and now you see that this is the situation where Nitish Kumar, who came to power opposing the RJD, categorically saying that there has been jungle Raj in the state, is now within the fold of Mahagathbandhan into seat sharing agreement with the RJD. The days to come will find that once again, possibly these political parties, including the Congress, would be daggers drawn when it comes to seat sharing within the state of Bihar. Possibly things will start tumbling out. What kind of relations do they share at this particular stage?
Right.
But I think that this is more or less a political compulsion at this stage, both for the Congress, the RJD, as well as Nitish Kumar.
Right. Let me bring in Amitabh. Amitabh, the point is that you said, they all should be sitting down and planning something concrete. Now, what one is hearing is that they will go to the people on, if this comes to fruition, unless it falls through tomorrow, but if it comes to fruition, it's going to be very issue based. They're going to speak about, price rise, unemployment, and of course, they're also fearing that, the BJP will do its trick, as in, create sectarian violence, etc., etc. But I'm asking you, this is very tiresome. This has been done ad nauseum. Even, I think, in the ideas department, they seem to be completely bankrupt, Amitabh Tiwari.
See, issues is not the only motivating factor or consideration when a voter goes to a booth. Issues is just one of the factors. We tend to overplay the issues factor. From 1951 to 2019, across elections, corruption, price rise, farmer distress, unemployment, all these issues have always been there. Other issues or other factors which gain importance are leadership. And we have been discussing a lot about leadership. There is no leadership emerging out of this joint opposition efforts. And when we are talking of the issues, even after doing a long 4-5 month Bharat Jodo Yatra, the Congress is stuck on an issue of Adani, which does not impact the common man.
Right.
So the Adani issue is literally becoming the Rafale 2 movement for the Congress. Even after walking for thousands of kilometers, if Rahul Gandhi is not able to understand that the real issue is not Adani, but price rise, inflation, unemployment, then it is going to be a repeat of Rafale 2 and probably a repeat of a 2019 or even a bigger mandate, because this is not the issue which really impacts the common man. Nobody understands crony capitalism in India. You have to make a direct charge, which they are not.
Right. And, you know, talking about which, Brajesh, the thing is that if now the time has changed from what it was then, when all these great leaders, you know, who had become prime ministers, imagine what it will be 5 years hence. So do you think for the third front to take birth yet again, rather rebirth, it's going to be curtains if it doesn't happen this time? Then we can actually say as a footnote that this is the last time it happened.
Well, I don't think, you know, they will keep on doing this experiment, because, you know, no party's writ runs large beyond a point. So we saw Indira Gandhi's time, and, you know, it was very powerful, looked like it will never, the sun will never eclipse. Then came the time of, right now is the time of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I think, you know, one other party will definitely take place of BJP, and then again, if it becomes too powerful, we'll again see this attempt yet again, which we'll call the fifth or the sixth front, you know, of this ragtag coalition being pulled, getting together to try and pull down that government. See, I agree with Amitabh, you know, because if you remember the election of Bihar, you know, there was a lot of talk about, you know, Lalu Prasad Yadav was in jail. That election saw you know, Tejasvi Yadav coming in his own right as a mature political leader. You know, when everybody kept on asking him question about, you know, this riot, anti-CA protest, this and that, he stuck to just one line. Please talk to me about education. Please talk to me about price rise. Please talk to me about employment. The same thing happened with, if you remember, when Arvind Kejriwal was fighting elections and there was all anti-CA protests going on in Delhi. News anchors and reporters kept on asking about anti-CA and all. He did not say a word till the results were out. This shows that the clarity of mind with which these opposition parties are in. And here you are, when you've tried your Rafale time, then again you are stuck with Adani. You know, either you come up with a proof which nails the involvement of the Prime Minister's office. You know, all this talk of, and one last line which I would say is that, you know, what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do to the BJP is the exact same thing which BJP is trying to do to Arvind Kejriwal. They want to show the Prime Minister corrupt. The charges are not sticking. The same way BJP is trying to portray Arvind Kejriwal as corrupt, the charges are not sticking.
I've completely run out of time, or else this was such a riveting conversation. But like Brajesh said, who knows, maybe 5 years from now we'll be discussing the same topic, but of course with different people. Thanks are due to Amitabh and also Shiv Pujan Jha, and of course to you, Brajesh. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. For news and analysis, keep watching News 9 Live.